As Tokita Oma lay lifeless, his fate in martial arts had sunk. Try as he might, the niko style was not working. Unleashing a savage onslaught by changing the shape of his face and neutering his nuts, Kurei Rayan did not care as he took the wind out of his sails with a single punch. And, tempted by the devil, Oma had no other choice but to sell his soul. The Faustian bargain is a pact where someone trades something of personal importance for material gain. So, by using the possessing spirit, Oma traded his past and his future for the power to win in the present. Oma took a step forward, but because he made a deal with the devil, he took another step right back. By succumbing to sin, Oma was stuck right where he left off, but receiving a revelation from a Holy Spirit, Oma unlocked the knowledge to even the odds using the one thing he left behind. What you put into martial arts is what you get because it exists to take down someone stronger than you. And, having poured his life into martial arts, Oma always had what it takes to win, just not the fate to get it done. So, with his fate in martial arts restored, Oma launched crisp counters, crafty combinations, and consecutive critical hits to beat the devil and snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Our devils can be beaten through fate. Fate in ourselves, and fate in the process, because a sinner has nothing to lose and nothing to gain from selling their soul. So, what does it take to defeat a god? The descendants of a hero from the spring and autumn warring period, the Dragon Tribe is a clan of warriors dedicated to protecting the natural order. As apex predators on top of the food chain who protect nature from those who seek to violate it, the Dragon Tribe was reduced to prey as they were ravaged by an invasive species. The Connector is a man trying to play God, a sage who has been around since the age of myth. He creates life in his own image and punishes the wicked who interfere with his plan. So, with his unfathomable power, he is the strongest, and he brings down God's wrath upon those who annoy him. But, losing his fate as the order his clan created crumbled beneath him, Long Su was invited to challenge Shen Wulong. Tested by God, Su rose to the occasion, but he became the devil. Wo Wang was a commando unit that swore fealty to Wulong, but as one of their 5 kings, Su tempted them to trade their loyalty for power, and getting ready to kill a god, Su hid his identity because using power that is beyond your own limits is a sin against the natural order. So, urging his allies to follow him into hell, Su had nothing to lose and nothing to gain as he watched his allies become the victim of God's wrath. Su had taken a step forward in his vendetta against Wulong, but he took a step back because he ended up right where he left off. Selling his soul to the devil, Long Su became Gao Mukaku, the prostrate king. Fleeing to Japan, Mukaku focused on mastering martial arts because if turning to the devil didn't work, he might as well give the gods a chance. But Mukaku could not practice his family's style of martial arts because he had violated their principles. So, Mukaku would carve his own path out of the darkness. Claiming a nameless martial art as his own, Mukaku would practice the Gao style in underground exhibitions. But it was unrefined. Although the Gao style is meant to help the weak defeat the strong, its emphasis on surprise attacks narrowed its success as a martial art. So, it needed to evolve. Partnering with a master of the Kaiwan style, Mukaku created the niko style, a combination of 4 katas that are greater than the sum of its parts. Becoming the master of his own martial art, Mukaku sought to restore his forces for one more go at the connector. This time, they would lead with their fate in the niko style. Recruiting children from the inside, Mukaku taught them martial arts. But gazing into the abyss, Mukaku blinked, and having selected 7 diamonds in the rough, Mukaku tore a page from his enemy's book and made the rest fight to the death until one was left standing. It failed. So, having fruitlessly traded their lives for power, Mukaku was betrayed by the one who learned the truth and the one who traded his family for knowledge. Revealing the secrets of the niko style to the worm, Mukaku lost faith in his own martial arts and ended up right where he started. Going off-grid by traveling around the world, Mukaku took his frustrations out on a worm cloning research facility. But luck was on his side because Mukaku seized another opportunity to challenge the connector. Since most attempts to clone Wulong end in failure, they would do anything to get his one and only clone back. So, embracing his role as the devil, Mukaku raised Gao Ryuki to trade his freedom for hate. Teaching him the Gao style, Mukaku sent Ryuki into the Kengan Association because when he returns, he would serve as the bait necessary for Mukaku to lure Wulong into a trap. After a lifetime of deception, Mukaku would have his final confrontation with Wulong. Unleashing the techniques of the Gao style, Mukaku could not reach Wulong with his hidden weapons. Giving him the chance to kill him, Wulong fell within his reach. Still, unleashing the techniques of the niko style, Mukaku could not defeat Wulong. Realizing that Mukaku was a member of the dragon tribe, Wulong lost interest. Yet, unleashing the techniques of his family's martial arts, Mukaku could not kill Wulong because his trap failed. Mukaku is unfathomably powerful, is so strong that he is lonely, and is a monster in human form. So, why does he call himself a fraud? Mukaku's greatest sin was that he never dared to believe in himself or his martial arts. Instead, Mukaku chose to sell his soul to the devil until he had nothing left to give because he never had the fate to face him. Martial arts is a journey because there are no shortcuts. Many start their journey looking for discipline or power, and as they begin their path, many more stop halfway through their journey because of a loss of drive or age. What you put into martial arts is what you get out of it, but what we get out might not be enough to keep us focused because there is always a bigger fish. But the point of martial arts is to defeat someone stronger than you. It's a lonely path that requires nothing but fate in the process. And pouring his soul into martial arts, we witnessed a man march a solemn path to the top. A revered assassin from the underworld, Kuroki Gensei entered the Kengan Annihilation Tournament. With faith in himself and his Kaiwan style, Gensei tore through the competition. Facing his future student, Gensei proved that natural talent is no match for the might of a martial artist. Facing his friend's killer, Gensei proved that justice can be executed and balance can be restored using martial arts. Facing the assassin who left his past life behind to pursue love, Gensei proved that nothing but absolute devotion can challenge his fate in martial arts. Facing a king who had never known defeat, Gensei proved that the might of a martial artist does not yield in the face of adversity. Facing the Ashura, Gensei proved that to defeat demons, you have to believe in martial arts. So, having no one left to fight but himself, Kuroki Gensei became the manifestation of martial arts, its principles, and its journey. Contracted by the Japanese government to assassinate the connector, Kuroki faced a god who could make him doubt his fate in the martial arts. But in the face of God's wrath, Kuroki was not tempted to abandon his path. Convinced that victory is not determined by strength alone, Kuroki proved that there is no such thing as flawless strength as his attack reached Wulong. While the connector's last challenger spent his life coming up with schemes only for his attacks to connect when he mercifully came within his reach, Kuroki reasoned that not even the strongest can defeat their opponent without striking them. So, all he had to do was wait for the strikes to come, and when they came, Kuroki would land his attack. It's an effective strategy, but it's so simple that only a martial artist would be insane enough to try it. In a perfect world, the wrath of God should only reach a sinner because a believer has nothing to fear but fear itself. As an immortal who surpassed the principles of martial arts by purifying them down to their most basic form, Wulong blessed Kuroki, because a god of martial arts has nothing but respect for a subject who faithfully follows it. By holding back his left, Wulong let Kuroki perform martial arts for its intended purpose, because if his focus is to block and counter each attack, just throwing a 1-2 would finish him. So, to defeat a god, one must dedicate life and soul to their principles, because you can fool everyone else, but you can't fool yourself.